guys, welcome to today's 1/6 Galaxies video. Today we are taking a look at MMS 737, that being the newly released Shadow Trooper with the Death Star environment. Once again, I would like to thank Jefferson Tan for sourcing this. Much cheaper than what you're going to pay at retail with pop culture. And basically I did have this on order with pop culture. There was something I wanted a refund on. They cancelled the entire order instead of the one item, and then when I said, look, I only want one item, there was a whole back and forth thing, and then I just ended up saying, look, you've cancelled the whole order, keep it cancelled. Went to Jeff. He said, oh yeah, I've got one coming next week, and so I just ordered that, and here he is. So this is a re-release or a reissue of an older figure. We will also take a look at that original Shadow Trooper towards the end, so you can see the improvements that Hot Toys have made to their troopers along the way. So this guy was 350 AUD shipped, which I thought was amazing, given the fact that he at the moment I think he's 440 from pop culture before any extra discounts and whatnot. So you can see that we have the red kind of Death Star wall in the background there, and we see an image of the figure on the front. We get that standard ribbon, tells us that it's the Shadow Trooper, that he comes with the Death Star environment, and whatnot. This side of the ribbon is going to showcase the extra image there, and then this side is just going to continue along the art and remind us that it is the Shadow Trooper. So like all the other Star Wars boxes, we are going to get the art insert. This time we get a look at the Shadow Trooper himself, with the red Imperial emblem and those Death Star scenery set up. And you can see that he is, of course, holding his blaster, and it tells us that it is MMS 737. Alright, so nothing we haven't already gotten before. I've already attached the thermal detonator to the figure. You are going to get these two pouches as well, which can attach to the trooper's belt via this, so it just kind of slots over. I'll explain it when you see it, but we do get two of those, just like the original release of this figure. He is going to have the fisticuffs. You can see that he is weathered. I don't know how many people are going to like that. I don't mind it. I actually forgot he was weathered, so that's just me forgetting and not paying too much attention. If you saw my other videos, you would know that I do have every single trooper, and so this was just another, yep, I need another trooper. I was a little bit annoyed at the reissue, but given the fact that it has a different MMS, I figured, well, I'll just grab him. I'm always up for more troopers. The other relaxed hand for grasping the blaster is still on the figure. Here is the other trigger finger. I've already swapped out the trigger finger and the E11, and I've already got him holding the E11, so we will see that in a moment also. The display base, they did go back to the original Death Star flooring for it, which is weird given the fact we have the backdrop, but I think the so you can see that it's kind of like the detention cell style base that they originally had for the New Hope line. You can see that it's Star Wars Shadow Trooper, and then we get our wall. Now the wall does illuminate. It does take 3 AAA batteries, and you just slide the cardboard up, and there is a switch. Now, one thing to keep in mind, mine had a had one of these things in it. It was jammed right up in there, so it was actually like folded over like this. So it was super folded, and it was actually pushed far up into the compartment, so I didn't actually know it was there, and I was kind of wonder why I couldn't get my third battery in. because it was so far up the chamber you didn't see it. You can see that the wall does illuminate nicely. If I was to turn the light off, obviously you're going to see more of an orange than a red, but it is a deep red, and it does look quite nice. And then of course turning it off so we don't waste our battery. And then the card just slides back down, covering that switch. Alright, getting our trooper out here. So obviously this guy is just the standard Stormtrooper in the black shadow look. You can see that he has the silver lenses. You can see that weathering is quite heavy on the helmet, and it is quite heavy throughout the chest. You can see the undersuit that they've been using for a while now. You can see his boots. There's our E11 with the relaxed hand. So this part here and this part here is where you can attach those bags to, and like I said, they just slide over using the elastic, and then they will just kind of hang here as sort of like ammo pouches, and you will see that on the original, or you can just have them as a normal trooper, look like so. It really depends, up to you. So the back of the figure is going to continue that weathering. You can see the thermal detonator, there's his holster. And the E11, as you would expect, is done very nicely as well. But yeah, it is going to really depend on if you like having your troopers weathered or not. As I said, I didn't really mind it. But yeah, he is, I'd say, probably a little bit more weathered than the original, but we will see that in a moment. So obviously the original only had the standard stand, and it had the older mold for the trooper body. So we'll see if there are any key differences, but I think it's mostly just going to be a proportion thing, and that the new guy is going to be more proportionate. Alright, so the original is on this side, and our new guy is on this side. I have put the ammo packs there on the original, just so we know that it's him. We can see that they are pretty much identical. The new one is just that tiny bit shinier on the paint, but you can see he is also weathered more. It's not to say that the original doesn't have weathering on him, but I would definitely say and even on the helmet, there we can see straight away that the new one is weathered more. You can see that the armor does sit nicer on the new one as well. You've got that double strap there for the old one, no longer really needed there for the new guy, and he is that little bit slimmer as well, and just that tiny bit shorter too by the look of it. yeah, these guys are quite a number of years apart. So while it is a reissue, I think it's probably a reissue that a fair few people would be happy about, especially if they missed out on the original release. And of course, we do have the wall. The wall can be separated, or it does come separated from the stand, so you don't actually have to use the wall if you're struggling for room in your display. Having moji cases, that isn't an issue for me. I think the difference, the white version is going to be the main one, because that a lot of people aren't going to really get unless they want an army build, because there's probably going to be a very, very minuscule difference between those two troopers. Anyway, guys, this has been our look at MMS 737 in a comparison to the original. You can also see that the pauldron sits nicer on the new one and is a tiny bit more proportionate as well. But yeah, overall, it really just depends on how many stormtroopers you want, and if you just, like I said, want another stormtrooper. Anyway, guys, once again, hopefully you found this information helpful, and hopefully you liked this video.